On Monday, November 17th, the Miami Heat downed the New York Knicks 113-115. The win was Miami's 8th of the season, as its new-look offense and defense continued to improve. During his post-game news conference, Knicks wing Josh Hart shared his praise for Spoelstra and the changes he has made to the Heat's approach this season. "You gotta give a lot of credit to Spo. I'm not sure how long he's coaching this league, 15 or 20 years, and he really, this year, I feel like he kind of reinvented himself and their offense," Hart said. "So, you gotta give him a lot of credit for that. Those guys are balling in and are definitely a little bit different, not guarding ball screens and those kinds of things, but they do a great job of driving the gaps and playing off reads and misses." Interestingly, despite Miami's impressive start to the season, the team currently ranks 14th in offense and 16th in defense in the league. The changes Spoelstra has made have focused on pace, being aggressive and winning possession battles. And while those adjustments won't always lead to an analytically preferred system, they're clearly having the desired effect on the court. As for New York, they've now lost all 4 of their road games to begin the season. Eric Spoelstra shares thoughts on Jalen Brunson. A keynote from the Heat's win over the Knicks is that Jalen Brunson wasn't on the court. The All-Star guard is currently dealing with an ankle injury that he suffered when facing the Orlando Magic on November 12th. Despite Brunson's absence on the floor, Spoelstra still took some time to praise him during his post-game news conference. "What I can say about Jalen is I really enjoyed my time, working with him during the World Cup, the World Championships, and I've mentioned it to him, and I've mentioned it to other people like myself," Spoelstra said. "I can't look at myself in the mirror for how much I grew to like him. He texted me the other day. He's got such a great heart. Just to check in on me and the family. And I told them, that my 2 sons are Jalen Brunson fans, but I told them it's not allowed in my house." Heat's Tyler Herro nearing a return. While Tyler Herro wasn't cleared for Miami's win over the Knicks, he is reportedly closing in on a return to the court. The Heat confirmed the former 6th man of the year has been cleared to practice now. Herro has been absent to begin the season following ankle surgery during the summer. Tyler Herro returned to the practice floor today, the Heat announced via X. Watch as he speaks to the media afterwards and provides an update on his injury status. Given how well Miami is playing to begin the season, adding Herro back will be a welcome boost. Spoelstra's new-look system is clearly working, and Herro's playmaking and scoring will help take it to new heights. Of course, the question now becomes whether the Heat can sustain their current production for the entire season. Judging on recent performances, the answer appears to be a resounding yes. The Miami Heat's decision not to sign or trade for a 3rd rotational big man during the offseason continues to haunt the team. But once December 15th comes, the Heat will be able to solve the team's organizational offseason whiff. All season long, the Heat have been average, at best, on the boards. When Bam Adebayo wasn't in the lineup, they were downright dreadful. And overall, there have been at least 2 games that were lost in large part due to the team's rebounding woes down the stretch. If the Heat want to make a genuine run to the playoffs this season and be anything but an afterthought in the Eastern Conference, they're going to have to add some size to the equation. Unless, of course, the Heat believes Vlad Golden could work his way to the point where he could factor into the rotation more during the second half of the season. However, considering he hasn't logged a regular season minute for the Heat so far this season, that may be a stretch. Realistically, Golden is a project that may not even see the floor until next season. Why December 15th is a date to watch for the Heat? Under that assumption, there's even greater pressure for the Heat to find a solution to their bad front-court depth woes from the outside. Once December 15th rolls around, there will be many more players available to be traded. It's also the point of the season in which the Heat could sign a player whose prorated contract wouldn't put the team over the tax. Of course, the big question is whether the right player will find its way onto the Heat's radar. After all, the Heat did give a training camp invite to Precious Achiuwa. That didn't work out, and he's now with the Sacramento Kings. So if they were banking on continuity and perhaps bringing him back on December 15th, that ship has now sailed. There will be plenty of other options for the Heat. It's just about finding the right player who will be able to fit in on the fly. In the Heat's new offense, which is predicated on rhythm and cohesion, that could be difficult. But at this point, the Heat may not have any other option. I can't imagine the Heat not making an addition to the front court before the NBA trade deadline. At this point, It probably has to come sooner rather than later, with that December 15th date being a big one on the calendar. Bam Adebayo may be primed for a return against the Golden State Warriors on Wednesday night, but it doesn't absolve the Miami Heat from the crucial reality check they've gotten over the last couple of weeks. And it's that if they're serious about making a genuine playoff run, they need to beef up their front court. Miami may have survived in the 6 games without Bam, under the assumption that he is set to return tonight, but they did learn a valuable lesson about their team. The Heat can feel good about themselves for going 4-2 without Bam, but they were dominated on the boards without him in the lineup. And it was especially alarming. The Heat weren't a great rebounding team with Bam at the start of the season, but they were surviving. They were in the top half of the league in both overall rebounding and defensive rebounding. They were already a bad offensive rebounding team, but they still managed to get by. In the 6 games without Bam, though, the Heat fell 2 whole spots in rebounds per game. More specifically, they were out-rebounded in every game in Bam's absence. Overall, in the last 6 games, they are a combined minus 52 in rebounding against their opponents. The Heat must address this alarming issue. This won't cut it. If this is the new norm for the Heat, their lack of size is eventually going to catch up with them, especially considering that we're still under 20 games played this season. And unfortunately, I can't imagine how the simple return of Bam is going to solve all their issues. This was a concern before Bam's injury, and will still be one when he returns. That's why the Heat desperately needs to add another rotation big to the equation. How, and when they will do that remains to be seen, but recent reporting does seem to indicate that December 15th is a date to watch. But if the Heat are going to have any sustainability in the Eastern Conference, especially when it comes to the impending playoff race, they're going to need more depth in the front court. If nothing else, that's certainly one thing that the Heat learned during Bam's absence. The good news is that it appears Bam is on the precipice of a return to the Heat's lineup. But the Heat can't get too caught up in that and forget just how much this team needs to beef up its big man rotation. The Miami Heat announced the signing of forward Jonathan Kuminga, a move that strengthens the franchise's roster and increases its offensive and defensive options for the upcoming NBA season. Known for his versatility on the court, Kuminga arrives with the goal of contributing both on the perimeter and in the paint, adding intensity, shooting ability, and playmaking skills. Sources close to the negotiation indicate that the agreement involves salary adjustments and possibly draft picks, reflecting the strategic value that the Heat's management sees in the young player. The coaching staff believes that Kuminga fits the team's dynamic style of play, bringing speed, agility, and precision to both offense and defense. Behind the scenes, Kuminga's arrival is seen as an important step in strengthening the team's rotation, allowing coach Erik Spoelstra greater tactical flexibility and options for crucial moments in games. His athletic profile and ability to read the game can help the Heat maintain consistency and competitiveness throughout the season. For fans, the signing represents hope for renewal and reinforcement, especially in a team seeking to balance experience and youth. If he adapts quickly, Jonathan Kuminga could become a key piece in the Miami Heat scheme, helping the team compete for top positions in the Eastern Conference.